Time to get down and dirty.
I'm going to try to bring out the essence of the truffles, so I'm making a simple macaroni and cheese. I know it's a decadent ingredient, and I'm going to try to treat it with the respect that it deserves.
Hi, David.
Hello, Chef.
Ever cooked with truffles?
That I've never done.
What are you making?
Truffled ricotta annulati.
Who do you think is weak in this group here?
Anybody from a small town, anybody that doesn't have these types of products readily available is going to be a tough ingredient for them, including myself. There's not too many truffles in Surrey.
10 minutes!
David's really cutting it close.
There is a risk of me not finishing, but I'm going to get it. I don't give up easy.
If my egg's not poached perfectly, I'm going home.
You should be plating by now.
All of a sudden, it's like 10 seconds left. I'm like, holy jeez.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up.
Lynn, please bring your dish to the front.
I don't know if this is good enough or if this is gonna send me home. Filet mignon with a truffle, goat cheese, compound butter.
The puree on the bottom is beautiful and smooth. That celery root really comes through well. And the amount of truffle that you put in, I think, was just the right amount.
Thank you, Chef.
It was enough to stand up to the heft of the beef. It's quite impressive.
Thank you.
David, please bring up your dish.
So before I tuck in, tell me about your dish.
It's a truffled ricotta annulati, the shaved truffles on top.
Well, looks alone, it certainly is a restaurant quality dish. Pasta is delicate, light, fluffy, dances on your tongue. And then that rich creaminess of the ricotta cheese with that secondary flavor of the truffle. And then a sauce that is big and rich. It's definitely the kind of dish I'd like to put on my restaurant menu.
Thanks.
Wonderful. And all done in an hour.
It was close.
What do you do again for a living?
I'm a concrete guy.
It's like a trained chef did this. It's one of the best dishes I've had so far.
Thank you.
It's incredible.
David knocked it right out of the park. He knows his stuff, and I respect that.
Kwasi, please bring up your dish.
My plate looks the way I want it to. My flavors are there. I'm leaving it in the judge's hands. This is called the Uptown Ting Mac and Cheese Truffle Swing.
They come together. I like comfort and I like simplicity. Macaroni, cheese, cream cheese, truffles. Was it a fluke or did you know it?
I knew it. I tried to honor the ingredient.
But you certainly impressed me.
I lost my truffle virginity today, and I'm never gonna be afraid about using that ingredient again.
I'm making smoked venison with braised kale, a roasted squash puree, and baby beets.
I think the venison is actually one of the easiest proteins to tackle in this challenge.
There's just the trimming of the silver skin on the tenderloin of the venison, and he's good to go.
I could have just seared the venison. The reason why I want to smoke it, I want to bring a different element. I have to win this competition, so smoking it's going to separate me from the rest again.
I'm making rabbit two ways, so I'm stuffing my rabbit with rabbit mousse that I'm gonna make with the hind legs. And it's going to be served on top of a Jerusalem artichoke puree with an elderberry red wine sauce.
I think the rabbit is actually, in my mind, the most difficult to do out of all the 4 proteins. It's a very delicate piece of meat. It's very challenging.
Rabbit mousse is all about texture. You're looking for a silkiness. Every step has to be respected. This dish can go 2 ways. Either it could be mind-blowing, or a total disaster.
I'm comfortable with squab because it's actually one of the things that we could get for free that my dad would go hunting for. I'm just gonna do it like I would at home on a mushroom gravy ragout with glazed heirloom carrots. Hopefully the taste will win the judges' hearts.
Now, Lynn got the squab. Again, that's one of my favorite proteins.
Squab you can almost treat like venison, for example, because they have a very similar lean texture to them, dense and rich in flavor.
I like mine medium rare. I hope she does it right.
Is there any other way?
I've never smoked venison before using smoker chips, but I'm gonna do that now.
45 minutes! You have 45 minutes left!
The clock is ticking down, and my smoker chips aren't smoking. So I'm gonna move them underneath the grill and see how that works. Whoa! Bad decision. The next thing I know, I have a fire. I am in full flames. Thank God I didn't overcook the venison.
David!
Yes, chef.
So I saw the big fire there, but everything's under control, right?
Yes, chef.
So you come from a big Portuguese family, right?
Yes, I do.
So this should not be a big problem for you, 21 dish. That's probably about 1/4 of what you usually do for big family gatherings, right?
You're absolutely right, chef. Unfortunately, I usually start a day before, not 3 hours before.
I hate to tell you this, David, okay?
Yes.
You don't have 3 hours.
Thank you, chef.
David, would you please describe your dish?
Today we have a venison loin with braised kale, a puree of squash, also a trio of the beautiful beets, and a red wine reduction.
Did you get the smoke on the venison you were looking for?
At times there was a little bit too much smoke, but yes, I did get the smoke I was looking for.
It looks stunning. Can't wait to try it. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
This dish looks amazing. It tastes amazing. But you know what? Everybody's is gonna be amazing today. We're all fighting for the same thing.
So I think the plating is really quite attractive. Elevated it, it's got a certain level of sophistication, but it's a little unusual and has a free spirit to it also.
Looks like you did a great job here on the cook of the venison. It's perfectly seared. You have this wonderful medium rare in the middle. I mean, what a fantastic job.
If I was to make one small complaint, the balsamic glaze is too thick. If this was just a slight bit thinner, and I can get all the beetroot and all this coming together, it would be just perfect.
David's venison was very good. It melted in my mouth.
Next up is Lynn.
I hope the judges recognize in my dish that I've worked very hard with my plating and that my flavors are there. For you today, I've made a butter pan-seared squab breast, and it's served alongside Riesling, maple, and apricot glazed carrots on a mushroom ragout.
It looks fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
And the squab looks like it's perfectly caramelized on top. Stunning.
I think the presentation here is absolutely beautiful.
I mean, it looks great, but I'm curious, how's it cooked? Squab is one of the trickiest proteins to cook just right. Now I want to see medium rare. Wow, look at that. It's incredible.
Beautiful.
I love the white gravy with the sweetness of the squab, the gaminess. It lets all the ingredients speak out louder.
For me, I would have liked to have seen a little bit larger cut on the mushrooms. If they were bigger, be able to identify the mushrooms that she was using. Overall, it's a wonderful dish.
I thought that Lynn's squab was delicious. It's seasoned well. It has a great sear on it. I would definitely order this dish in a restaurant.
Next to present their plate is Sabrina.
As I'm putting down my plate, I'm finally satisfied. This dish should earn me a spot in the finale. Here you have ratatouilles on top of a Jerusalem artichoke puree, charred green onions, peppercorn toasted pine nuts with a elderberry and red wine sauce.
It looks delicious. Thank you.
Let's try it. Sabrina has obviously displayed great technique. She has used the loin, stuffed it, wrapped it in bacon, and then pan-roasted it. It's a very tricky technique to achieve, especially in the 90-minute cook. That rabbit is absolutely delicious. Seasoned very nicely.
There's one misstep on this rabbit. It had 1 minute too long in the pan. It's a little bit dry. Other than that, it's a knockout dish.
Sabrina's rabbit dish was excellent. It's the first time I've had rabbit, and I would definitely have it again.
So where the magic is at today. I got clove, cinnamon, and thyme. I've never used them all together. I pretty much never use cloves, and I never think about cloves other than apple cider at the Christmas market. So that's the first place my mind went, and I'm just gonna run with it.
I'm gonna go dessert today. So I'm making a cinnamon creme patisserie and a clove creme légère, which I'm piping in a glass, and a sweet thyme tuile to sit on the top. I've been trying to just really channel emotions and memories that feel special to me and then just run with that. And it seems to be working so far, so I really hope the judges like it. Let's do it. Looking very cool.
I think Andre's got a lot of good stuff going on.
Yeah.
Andre.
Hey, chef.
What did you get?
I got caraway seeds, ground cumin, and ground savory.
So what are you gonna do?
So I have cumin and savory going in here with some oxtails, and I'm making panko-covered eggplants and a naan with caraway seeds in it. A lot of these spices taste like Indian-inspired, and that's what I'm running with.
So you got the pressure cooker going, okay? And that is great when you do spices, because sometimes spices takes a while for it to come out. So good idea.
Thank you.
So Andre, who's going home today?
Roz.
Come on, man. It's harsh, bro. That's harsh.
I'm just kidding. I love Rosine. I mean, somebody has to go home today, but it's definitely not going to be me.
Well, I hope so.
Thank you, chef. You know you're going home, right?
Hey, man, if I go home, then you won't be beating the best chef in the kitchen at the finale.
Race against time. I feel like I'm an octopus with like 8 tentacles going at like 8 different things, keeping it all on track. I have to get the creme pat in the fridge. I have to get the creme légère in the fridge. This really has the potential to just look like a bunch of slop in a glass if things don't set properly. Hope and a prayer.
Andre, please bring up your dish.
I'm super excited for them to try this dish. For the first time, I feel really confident because I put myself all out on this dish.
Which McCormick gourmet spices did you use?
I used caraway seeds, ground cumin, and ground savory. So that's eggplant with panko, and we have a caraway seed naan, and the oxtail is stewed with ground cumin and the ground savory.
Wow, look at that. It just falls off the bone here. Andre, this is delicious. Wow. The execution of spices, the way you control the heat, the aromas, it's a very humble, authentic dish. It's a knockout. It tells me that you want to be here.
I really do, chef.
Jennifer, it's time to taste your dish.
I hope the judges can see that I took the challenge really seriously and that I wanted all 3 of these spices to be the hero of it.
Tell me which McCormick gourmet spices you got in your box.
I used ground cinnamon, ground clove, and also thyme leaves. I've made what I'm calling the winter holiday market. There's a cinnamon creme pâtissière as well as a thyme tuile, and then just finished with a bit of smoke at the very end.
It is a very poetic dish. And the presentation, just gorgeous to look at. It's all there. That little hit of smoke, the clove, the cinnamon, the thyme. It's not overpowering, but it is full and creamy and light.
Yay.
One tip would be to make that tuile just a shade thinner.
Okay.
But overall, I like this dish.
Thank you, chef.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, I must say, when I look at this, it's simple but sophisticated. But what I say about taste?
Taste is king.
Wow. It's a very nice dish. It's executed well. This is like Christmas in a spoon.
Thank you so much, chef. Totally mission accomplished. I couldn't have hoped for anything better.
It looks like we just stepped into a forest.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
Mushroom.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I see all types of fresh mushrooms. There's king oysters, cremini, there's some beautiful shiitakes. There's everything.
I've never even seen these before.
Canned mushroom. Okay. Nothing creative is coming to my mind.
There's some pros working with dried mushrooms because you can add a lot of flavor to things, but it takes a bit of time to hydrate.
I'm grabbing every mushroom in here.
That pantry was an absolute treasure trove of mushrooms.
So many varieties.
I just want the mushrooms to shine.
Eugene's got all sorts of equipment happening. I'm sure he's doing this convoluted dish.
I'm making a vegetarian mushroom bone marrow. Canned mushrooms are a little bit slimy and a little bit wet, similar to bone marrow where it's fatty and gelatinous. I'm shaping confit potatoes similar to bones. My idea is pretty creative. I know that I've got this in the bag.
Michael G gave me the dried mushrooms, and once you rehydrate them, you can really put them into just about everything. I am making a pistachio and mushroom crusted pork tenderloin with mushroom parsnip puree and mushroom frisee salad. Mushroom is going to every single component of my dish. I haven't had a defining moment yet. I think that this is it. I'm going to make a winning dish.
30 minutes. You have 30 minutes left.
So much work to do.
I'm doing a cream sauce with beautiful canned mushrooms in them on a bed of charred up cauliflower and then a poached egg as well with that.
Andy is using a variety of techniques. He is grilling, he is smoking, he is making purees. Interesting for me to know that he does have this in his repertoire.
Hey there, Andy. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good about it. I've never done any of these techniques really before, but that's what the MasterChef Kitchen's about, is getting a little bit outside of your comfort zone.
Do people from out east like to cook with a smoking gun?
No, not necessarily. But I feel like I've only cooked about one meal in this kitchen that I've been proud of, and I think this one's gonna be one that I'm absolutely proud of.
Because I don't think we've seen your full potential yet.
I don't think you have either, Chef.
Carry on.
Thank you, Chef.
Home cooks, it looks like you've taken the mighty mushroom in some incredibly diverse directions. Andy, please bring up your dish.
I was given a tricky ingredient to cook with, and I stood up and delivered. I'm super proud of this dish.
What kind of mushrooms were you assigned?
I was assigned, graciously, the canned mushrooms. I decided not to go with any protein and just focus on the mushrooms. So on bottom, I've got a roasted purple cauliflower. On top of that, I smoked an oyster mushroom, and then on top, a roasted creamy sauce using some of the mushrooms, and then poached and smoked an egg.
The cauliflower is acting like a protein would act on a plate like this.
Exactly.
I like that. Wow. Looks nice. Incredible flavor, bold, great texture. Honestly, I couldn't tell that it was a canned mushroom by the way you treated it. It's an original dish. You are one to watch. Keep it up.
Thank you, Chef, will do. I feel like I'm starting to get my swagger in this kitchen. I told the chefs I'm here to compete.
Eugene, please bring up your dish.
I feel pretty pumped. I think nobody else will be as creative and innovative as I am. And I wanted the dish to look kind of like a forest in fall. The bones I made from a potato confit. The marrow is the star of the dish.
I'm actually very disappointed when I look at this dish, Eugene. Because I wish I would have thought of it.
Thank you, Chef.
It really is incredibly creative, innovative.
Thank you, Chef Claudio.
To take a canned mushroom and come up with potatoes and mushrooms pretending to be bone marrow. It's pure genius.
Thank you.
I know you know it, too, because I can see you're filled with emotion right now.
Yeah.
The way it looks, it's a triumph.
Thank you, Chef.
Let's cut through. I'm very intrigued. Wow, look at that. You mimicked a bone marrow. It's incredible. The mushroom is smooth, incredibly rich, very intense in flavor. The whole dish, it just has complete harmony. I love the fact that you've got these chips here that mimic dried leaves. You're definitely onto something.
I am so relieved right now. I'm not really thinking of Michael G, but I guess I could thank him because probably I wouldn't have used that idea if it wasn't for the canned mushrooms.
Marissa, please bring up your dish.
It looks pretty, it tastes pretty, but that's my opinion. I prepared for you a mushroom and pistachio crusted pork tenderloin with a mushroom and parsnip puree alongside a mushroom frisee salad and a morel mushroom red wine sauce.
So you say you crusted the pork tenderloin with the black trumpets?
Black trumpets and pistachios.
And the red wine and morel mushrooms. Pork is terrific, nicely cooked. The morels are one of my favorite mushrooms. They have an upfront strength and depth of flavor. This is a lovely little dish.
Thank you, Chef.
Nicely done.
I cannot contain the smile on my face.
I know nothing about Tajines, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna use some peppers, some tomatoes. I'm probably gonna use some pumpkin for a bit of earthiness.
The tagine, it's kind of making me feel like the stew my mom used to make. It would feel like a warm, cozy hug. So I will make it an ode to my mom.
I'm just gonna give it my best and do what I gotta do to stay.
The amount of spices and vegetables are messing with my head. The more selection I have, the harder it is to pick.
This is an opportunity for the home cooks to really show us who they are with the way that they combine all of those spices.
By smell and taste and a little bit of luck with a pinch of this and that, I will hope it works out.
I'm gonna work on a harissa that I'm gonna make myself. It's gonna be tight making my own harissa, but it's a risk that I'm willing to take.
I like what Aaron's got going on. He's definitely doing that harissa.
Yeah.
Aaron, that smells dope, man.
Miranda,
Hi, Chef Claudio.
how are you doing?
I'm pretty confident. I know my flavors in my tagine are good. I thought I had a good idea with my pumpkin seed, so I'm happy.
Are you cooking with instinct right now or experience?
Instinct.
Instinct.
So far in this kitchen, I cooked with a lot of things I've never done before, and this is no different, so I'm just trying to do my best.
I'd wish you luck, but I don't think you're gonna need it.
Thank you, Chef Claudio.
So tell me what vegetables you have in here.
Some pumpkin, carrots, celery, chickpeas, zucchini.
Miranda, you really captured the essence of a tagine. That tells me that you have intuition. You understand flavors, you understand how to work with heat, you understand when something's too sweet, too sour, which is a very powerful tool to have as a professional chef. Incredible.
Thank you so much.
Miranda,
Hi, Chef Alvin.
I assume in Edmonton you don't see a lot of these things, right?
Yeah, don't see tagine, Chef.
Well, it smells great. You did a great job.
Thank you.
It's just cooked perfectly. It's not mushy, it's not soft. It's got a little bit of crunch, and the flavors, sight. Couscous and the tagine, it's like a marriage. They complement each other. And you did that just right.
Thank you, Chef Alvin.
I'm amazing myself every single day I cook in this kitchen.
Both Andre and Jennifer right now are feeling the pressure.
I think part of it is that they're multitasking.
Half of my burners are taken up by the pressure cookers for almost the entirety of this cook. I have at least 5 elements that require burners. This is very tricky.
I think she has too many things to do. I'm a little bit anxious about that.
Less than 20 minutes left. The only thing I have done is fleece. I can think of 8 other things. I still have to finish. Can I get this all done? I know how to do all these things, but time is of the essence.
My oats, I am paste smoking right now.
I just gotta do the next right thing.
I feel like a lamb might want to eat some oats.
She's got to be very careful with the smoking. Do not over-smoke.
It might impart a bitter finish to those oats. It's risky, but if it works, pure genius.
Steel-cut oats are amazing anyway, but with like the sneak attack of smoke taste, I think it'll be outrageously awesome.
The smoke smells awesome.
Thank you, thank you.
Goat, how's the goat?
Andre is opening up his pressure cooker.
How is it?
Tastes good. Throwing some salt.
And look, Jennifer's opening up her pressure cooker now.
I don't know if it looks done to me.
It's tough to see from up here, right?
I can tell whether or not things are done usually by feel. I hope I nailed it.
How's my time, guys?
5 minutes, 5 minutes.
Keep going, keep going.
What was that, Jennifer?
Red wine demi-glace.
Wow.
I'm gonna add some of that sour cherry syrup to it.
I am brushing these lamb bones with some of the glaze and wrapping them in copper foil. It's finale day. Why wouldn't I?
2 minutes! You only have 2 more minutes left.
I'm pretty close. I'm pretty close.
It's looking good, bro. Looking good.
Watch your time.
Go, Andre, go. How you doing, man?
I think I'm doing well.
What are you gonna do with the cabbage?
The cabbage is what they're gonna eat it out of, so they're gonna wrap it and put it in the cabbage.
Okay.
1 minute. You only have 1 more minute to entree time.
Look at those dishes.
Wow.
Oh, that looks so delicious.
Thanks, guys.
Nice, Jennifer.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Hey.
You got it, buddy. You got it.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up. That's it. Don't let up now because dessert is going to be served in 1 hour.
The judges will now head to the banquet room to taste the entrees.
Okay, Bolsam has probably never been seen like this before. I think the judges will really like it.
At the start of this, I thought this dish might be a bit impossible because there was just so many elements, but it did all come together. I just really hope they love it.
Jennifer's entree is up first. It's a braised lamb shank served with hay-smoked oats, sour cherry glaze, and a mint fleece.
I always love a story in a dish.
It evokes the sort of whimsy of that nursery rhyme. It is eye-catchingly colorful.
And this right here, this mint fleece, it is so unusual, very smart. Oh boy. In the middle, my lamb is slightly undercooked. It's a braising piece of meat. This is not the type of meat that you ever serve medium rare or rare.
Claudia, that's too bad because my piece of lamb is beautifully cooked, tender and juicy.
Mine was also cooked perfectly.
I think we have to consider that both of you had smaller shanks than mine. But the vegetables, for me, are really the star of the show. They're so complex. The carrots perfectly cooked. The oats with that smoke going through them. Sensational.
I love that combination of meat, fruits, vegetables, starch, all coming together. And the thing is, everything fits. And then you got that plump cherry giving acidity, bit of that juice balancing with sweetness. And finally, I love that mint fleece.
There is such a lot of detail in this dish. It's a really good one.
This energy, I mean, it's so intense in here.
These are the make and break moments when you're putting your plate together in the last minutes.
I'm just sweating so much. It feels like I'm training like an Olympic athlete right now.
These last couple elements are really going to be the wow of my dish, so it's go big or go home. I'm having a smoke effect going, a smoking puck giving off a continuous stream of smoke around the plate.
I plate my Dulce ice cream pearls, and then I light the candle so it can melt down a little bit and have a bit of sauce on the plate.
Artistically, I'm creating the look of a fire pit. I want flames.
Love the creativity.
I was wondering what the ice component would be. I think it's coming right now.
I want sprinkles and sprinkles of shiso leaves shattered all over the entire plate. This is my only ice component, and it has to work.
My ice element is very risky. It's my vinaigrette in a balloon. I'm gonna freeze it with liquid nitrogen so that it forms a nice cup and it's frozen on the outside but still liquidy on the inside.
Wow, look at that, it looks amazing.
It's like a little red egg in a nest.
With ice cream pearls, I'm also going to make hazelnut snow. I'm mixing hazelnut oil with maltodextrin and put it in some liquid nitrogen. I want it to melt like actual snow, like when you get snow on your tongue and then it's just gone.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up!
Wow.
So nervous for them.
Hey, man.
Andre, can you please bring up your dish?
I call this steak by the fire. Sake marinated ribeye with ponzu marinated eggplant and sesame cauliflower puree.
The presentation looks spectacular. The ice element was very theatrical. Let's see how it all goes together. Very tasty, very savory, beautiful cooked ribeye, lovely medium rare, and the flavor of that shiso leaf is unmistakable.
Thank you, Chef.
A dish that was well executed, well thought out, extraordinarily well presented. And what it says is how far you've come.
Wow. Thank you, Chef.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
I have to say I loved the choreography with the shiso leaf.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, so many textures come through. I love those Japanese flavors. I've spent a lot of time there skating and touring, and this dish feels like a home away from home. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Andre, you've gone a long way in terms of presentation. I see perfect symmetry. The matches of color, the white, the red, the green, the black, very, very zen. I'm gonna try the edamame. So this has been charred.
I thought that that's an interesting way to do it instead of just steaming it.
Wow. By charring it instead of boiling it, okay, you retain that sweetness. And that char just gives it the extra smoky flavor. You're on fire. Don't let the ice cool you down.
Thank you, Chef. To have an Olympic gold medalist in awe over my dish. I'm just so proud of what I did.
Jennifer, please bring your dish up.
This dish was to honor my dad. I've made scallops, some pork belly, a dulce ice cream pearl, a birthday candle made out of smoked pork fat. My dad's favorite drink was rum and cola, so I made a rum and cola glaze, and that's brushed on the pork belly.
I definitely see the fire and the ice. I got that warm feeling, that sweetness coming from that scallop. Complements the pork belly perfectly. This sense of togetherness, of flavors from the earth, flavors from the sea, flavors coming together. Well, did your dad know that you're a great cook?
No, Chef, it's kind of something that I got interested in, but I think I kind of caught the bug from him. He was just really multi-passionate and loved really good food.
My father also passed away way before I was a cook, and we share some moment that we wish he was here, and somehow I'm sure he is.
Thank you, Chef.
I almost don't want to dive in because it's so beautiful.
No, please, wreck it. Just go.
Okay. So flavorful and beautiful, but what I love is that you can tell it's made with love. I mean, you mayor timers are just the best. I always feel like you could knock on anyone's door out east and they would welcome you in for a lovely meal, maybe not quite this elaborate.
Thanks so much.
Very intrigued by this. It looks like a candy that's been just wrapped in some tin foil, but I know it's more than that.
This is a dulce ice cream pearl.
Beautiful flavor. That seaweed really comes through. I've never had an ice cream made with seaweed. You have talent to burn.
Thank you so much, Chef. To impress the judges, a gold medal Olympian. Feels like such a gift.
Josh, please bring your dish up to the front.
After listening to the critiques of the other two cooks, they were wow dishes. So I'm kind of nervous, I'm really hoping that this dish is up to that standard. This chef is what I called prairie smoke. When I think of fire and ice, I think of Saskatchewan, right? It gets -60 in the winter and +40 in the summer. So I have a duck breast that I pan-seared and cooked, and then smoked as it was resting. I made some wild rice Savoy cabbage rolls. And on top, I have a lightly dressed frisee salad and also a sour cherry vinaigrette.
You've cooked it rather nicely. Beautiful medium rare. It could have maybe done with a little bit more color on the fat side. But is duck something you cook a lot with?
Honestly, Chef, this is the first time I ever cooked duck.
The cook on the duck is really terrific, nicely seasoned. That accompanied with that cherry sauce that has a little bit of a sweet and sour edge. Great idea, great concept. And the aromas of that smoke, it's campfire, it's cooking over an open hearth, it's soulful. Josh, well done.
This presentation, it's so layered and colorful, and it felt like an ambitious plan. I admire that risk, because at this point in the competition, you just can't play it safe. That vinaigrette, so good. Just a delightful, delightful dish. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Josh, I did not expect this from you. It's incredibly creative. I love the flavors that you've captured in this cabbage roll. They're very earthy. You can see you have a real respect for tradition, but you also took a risk. You added wild rice to it, the walnut cream. Perfectly executed. Home run.
Thanks, Chef. I really think this one hit the mark of everything. It was creative and innovative, and Tessa Virtue tasting it and her also saying how good it tastes, it just makes you feel great inside.